Oh, very basically, at the chamber event, we've addressed a lot of the business proposals that are coming through. The fact that we are trying to change the way government works and the way we process things. For instance, this year in our budget, uh, we went to the council and we told them we have over 900 miles of road. 3 years ago, there was $12 million budgeted. Last year we budgeted 18 million. This year 31 million. But in order for us to be able to catch up with the road repairs, the roads last about 35 or 25 to 30 years. Then after that they start deteriorating badly. We had about a 40 to 50 year backlog. So, it took 40 to 50 years before we were actually getting back to the roads. And this kind of a cycle can only lead to deterioration and more problems with our road structure. So we're suggesting we need to bring it back to about 25 to 30 years so that we're actually repairing the roads as fast as they deteriorate so we can catch up and keep the quality of life really good for the community. We also translate this to be the same in almost all of the major departments where we're working with infrastructure, water. The way that we've been doing water in the past is as a line deteriorates, we'll do emergency repairs. But for the most part, we're allowing the developers and whoever in the public is going to be fixing their property or subdividing their property to come in and do all the major repairs. We're suggesting that this is causing our system to deteriorate more and more, and it's creating bigger and bigger problems. So what we really need to do is we need to be able to engineer all of the work that needs to be done, and we need to systematically start doing all the repair, maintenance, and upgrades of all the different systems. And we're already behind, a couple $100 million plus or minus in repair work. So we're going to have to restructure how we're charging people and how we're doing this if we're going to be able to provide water service to this community that's dependable. We just cannot keep allowing more and more to deteriorate and just hoping and praying that somebody will come in and fix it for us. That being said, at the same time, we've got a situation where almost all of our water systems are disjointed. Hana has its own water system, Kula has its own water system, Kahului has its own water system, Lahaina has its own water system. And that the whole process doesn't allow one system to be able to help the other. So by engineering all of the different systems and starting to plan for how we're going to be working with them, we also need to connect all the systems. And those are the kind of things we need to be looking at, using logic and common sense and practical application rather than just wishful thinking and hoping that things will happen by magic. We have to be very realistic, and that's the picture I'm trying to paint to the public and to the chamber members. We have a real jewel in Maui County, and we have the ability to be able to make all the corrections. We just have to take a very real world look at it and then objectively start making the repair and maintenance to upkeep what we need to do. And this is with our sewer systems, our water, our road system, our county buildings and facilities. We need to be able to look at it and say, well, if the building is 30 to 50 years old and we're now spending, millions of dollars in repair, then we're still going to end up with a building that's basically 30 to 50 years old. Perhaps it's time to look at it and say, let's build for the future. Let's plan for the next 25 to 50 years, upgrade this facility to where the community can really use it and use it to their advantage, and at the same time make the repairs by building new. So we'll save the cost of repairs of an old structure that stays old. And doing the analysis as to when we need to do this needs to happen to all of our facilities. I think most of the business community is beginning to feel that the economy is starting to move. With our First Friday events, as we're going through Makawao, Paia, Lahaina, Wailuku, we're seeing more of the businesses, even when we're not having the events, they're starting to move. And the Friday events are attracting more people, so they're getting a lot more attention. The construction industry is starting to pick up as well. And even with the outlet mall that's being planned for Kihei, that will create another 1,000 jobs. So people that are sitting right now at home wanting to find jobs, that will be a great opportunity. And it's a give and take in all of the communities. As we start to advance, if we're going to be able to provide the jobs and the opportunities for people, there are sacrifices that have to be made along the way. So some of the open spaces will now have buildings on them, but the main objective is to have a high quality of life for our community. So while we're building shopping malls, we are also building parks. Central Maui Park, we're in the process of working with the council to acquire about 220 acres, coupled with another 80 acres from the state's picking up. That'll be about 300 acres in Central Maui. Going toward Lahaina, we're looking at trying to create that Palitupuamana coastal park and also acquire property for the state highway when it's moved away from the coastline. So that's about 200 acres that we're looking at from Puamana coming out toward the transfer station. Those kinds of things will help us long term. We're planning for a community 50, 100, 200 years from now. Those parks will be there and the quality of life for the community can be enhanced. But it's all part of what we have to do. We've been working with the Friends of Moku'ula to try and recreate the old Hawaiian kingdom. That's another aspect and park that will be built into our community. And it'll also be able to serve as a cultural site where we teach people about the ancient cultures and the significances of what happened in the Hawaiian kingdom. So all of these things, when you start putting them all together, they'll start showing that as an administration, we're not only trying to put out fires, we're trying to be proactive, not just reactive. We're trying to make sure that 25, 50 years from now, we'll have a community that has a much better quality of life than what we have today. And that should be our goal, to make sure that our children and our great-grandchildren have a community that they can be proud of as well. So we need to start that and get really moving strong.